The Ohio primaries are underway, and incumbent Governor Mike DeWine is facing 3 Republican opponents, 2 of whom have gained significant support from the right.
Standing at the stage is Joe Blystone. He's got his cowboy hat on, sports a white beard, and is telling voters why he's running for Ohio governor.
But we need to stand up for what's true, what's righteous, what's godly. And
Many people here like his message. People like Pete Wolfer. He says he's disillusioned with establishment Republicans.
It's almost like there's people that look at McCain's, Romney's, Bush's, really no different than the Clintons, the Obamas. They're all part of, on a national level, they're all part of a, let's just call it a uniparty. Right?
Pastor Robert Wooten says a lot of conservative voters are attracted to Blystone because he's never been in office.
I think so. I think there's just that outsider kind of, that people are attracted to. That's less political, less politician, but more about who they are as a person,
Both Wooten and Wolfer say they are supporting Blystone because he's not your traditional politician. Blystone is a farmer from Canal Winchester. He calls himself a constitutional conservative. He's promising to make Ohio a sanctuary state for gun rights. He says he'll reject government vaccine mandates. He'll also ban what he calls the indoctrination of children at public schools over issues of race and gender.
Well, fundamentally, DeWine's issue with some members of the Republican base is really just his response to COVID.
Those Republicans were upset with the economic effects of DeWine's COVID lockdowns. Niven says for years, Ohio has been a sure bet for the polite country club Republican candidates like DeWine. But now?
Ohio is catching up with the rest of the nation in terms of the Republican preference for somebody who will run for a government position by running against government, and a orientation where the things that would be qualifications for office are largely viewed as disqualifying.
Candidates like Blystone boast of their inexperience in government, saying they're fighting inherently flawed politicians.
Because we know these people will lie, cheat, and steal to keep their positions.
And he says the system is flawed too.
We don't want more of the same. We're fed up with the political system as it's been ran for decades.
Back in February, a poll from Emerson College showed about a third of likely GOP primary voters were supporting DeWine. Blystone had 20%, and Jim Renacci had 9%.
Mandy Kirkham said she's undecided between Renacci or the other candidate in the race, farmer Joe Blystone, but she's adamant who she won't vote for, DeWine.
I think he's too wishy-washy. We never know which way he's going to go.
Terry Dennis said he and his wife are leaning toward Blystone.
Well, I like Blystone, which is pretty big to us. We went and saw him.
Cochran said he was also voting for Blystone, adding he doesn't like the way DeWine handled the pandemic and, in particular, the lottery that allowed Ohioans who had received vaccines to be entered into a $1 million jackpot.